Hello and good morning to everyone. So our today's LUT code question is 1320 and this is minimum distance to type a word using two fingers. So basically in this question we are given a keyboard having this representation and the all the characters are present as shown in this figure, like this is our keyboard figure, right? And what we have to do is so basically we are given a string word and we have to type that string using this keyboard, and we have to return the minimum total distance to type such a word, and we can use only two fingers, right? So also, suppose we have put our finger on some character a and then we shift our finger from a to y, then this distance is being added to the added, right? And at the end what we have to do is we have to minimize this distance, right? Next we'll see how we'll be finding the distance. So basically what we'll do is we'll take the coordinates of a and coordinates of b y, sorry, let's say x1 and y1, x2 and y2. So the distance is x1 minus x2 का mode plus y1 minus y2 का mode. So this is the distance to shift our finger from one character to other character, right? And initially our both fingers are free, so when the fingers are free and we put them at some character, in that case the cost will be zero, right? So we don't have to consider that time the cost, right? So let's see the examples to get the question more clearly. So our word is cake, so we have finger 1 and finger 2. So first we put our finger 1 on character c, so the cost will be 0, right? Then we have to type the next character, that is a. So move either we can use our finger 2, that is free, or we can shift our finger 1 to a. So if we shift our finger 1 to a, c to a, then the cost will be 2, right? Then the cost will be 2. Then suppose we have shifted our finger 1 to a, then let's see, now we have to type character k. Then again we have two cases, shift our finger from a to k or use our free fingers. So we can use our free finger, so the cost will be 0. Now our finger 1 is on a and finger 2 is on character k, right? Next we have to type e. So which fingers we should use? So a, b, c, d and e. So if you move from a to e, then the distance is 4. But if you go from k to e, e, f, g, h, I, j, k, so it is like e and then below it is k. So if you move from k to a, then the cost is 1. So it is easier for us to shift our second finger, and the cost will be 1. So the total cost to type the word is 4, or the total distance, we can say total distance that we have moved is 3, right? Sorry, not 4, 3. 2 plus 1, 3. So 3 is our answer. So let's see the constraints. So in this question we are given the word length up as 300, like we can have 300 characters in the string, and all the characters consist of uppercase English letters. So we'll be looking three different approaches. The first one is like recursion using memoization, then we convert that into a dp state, right? Then we convert that into a dp state, and after that we'll space optimize the dp states, like from 3d dp to 2d dp and 1d dp, right? So let's start. So basically what we want at every character we have two choices, either we can use our finger 1 or we can use our finger 2, right? So to find the answer we have to try the both the possibilities, and at the end we have to take the minimum one, right? Which one is giving us the minimum distance. So if you use direct recursion, so in worst case we can have 300 characters and each have two choices, so the total number of choices is 2 की power n, basically 2 की power 300, which is too much, which will give us tle, right? So because in this some states are recomputed again and again, so what we do is we use memoization, right? So instead of recomputing a state again, we'll store that state and reuse that state again when we need it, right? So now see, what are the things that we should focus on or that we should track in the recursion. So the one thing is the current character which we have to type, let's say I, then our position of finger 1, let's say F1, and position of finger 2, F2, right? So the position can be from A to Z or free. These are the two possibilities. Either the fingers are present on some character from A to Z or they are free, right? So what we have done is we have shown these A to Z as numbers, that is 0 to 25, and the free as 26. Means if F1 is 26 means the finger 1 is free. So if we have seen, this is like I, F1 and F2, like our state has three things: current character, finger 1 position and finger 2 position, right? So now what will be the movements or what we'll do when we will be typing our current character, right? So to type our current character, either we use finger 1 or finger 2. So when we use finger 1, right, suppose if you use our finger 1, then we have to shift our finger 1 position to our current character. So earlier it is at F1 character, now we have to shift it at current character. So whatever distance that we have taken to shift F1 to current character, now our current character is at index number I. So to type that the cost is distance. Now we have to see all the costs to type character from I plus 1 to n, and that will find using again calling the function from I plus 1. Now our F1 is at current, so we have type past current and our second finger is still at F2. So this total cost, that is the cost to type our ith character and all the characters from I plus 1 to n. So this is stored in cost 1, right? Similarly, if you have used finger 2, then we have to shift finger 2 from F2 to current. So this will be the distance that we have taken to shift our finger from F2 to current. And again the same thing, like we have to find the cost to type all the rest of the characters from I plus 1 to n, and our finger 1 is at F1 and we have shifted our finger 2 to current. So this will give us cost 2. So what we do is we'll take the minimum of these two, right? We'll take minimum of these two and then we'll store our answer, right? So what will be the base case? So if you'll see the base case is like when all the characters are typed, that means our index is equal to n. So if all characters are typed, then the cost will be 0, so we return 0. Now how we'll be finding our positions of finger F1 and F2? So we have already discussed, we have 26 characters from A to Z and we are representing that from 0 to 25. So suppose if F1 is 23, that means F1 is present at X, right? So this way we have assigned the numbers to all the characters. And suppose if F1 is equal to 26, that means the finger F1 is free, right? So we have used these numbers. So initially our index, we are at I is equal to 0 and both our fingers are free, so we call sol 0 comma 26 comma 26. Now the next thing is like how will we find index using numbers? So see, as we have represent x with 23, now to find the index of means row and column of x in this on the keyboard. So as we can see, each row in the keyboard has 6 characters each. This is 2 characters. So to find the row of the character x, we just do 23 by 6, that is 3. 6 6 6 18, 18 plus 6 23. So that means our x is present in this row, that is third row. Yes, x is present in third row. Now we have to find the columns. So if you notice, this is 0, 6, 12, 18 and 24. Like these characters have these numbers. So if you see their number, let's say n, their number is, let's say we denote by n dash, and we do remainder with 6, they all will give us the same remainder, that is 0. These all characters will give us remainder 1, right? These all characters will give us remainder 1. So to find the column, we take the character number and then do with modulo 6. So here we have 23, so 23 modulo 6 is 6 4 ja 18, 18 plus 5, 5 is the remainder. So if you see the column of x, so column of x is 5 and row is 3, so we get 3 comma 5. So this way, suppose if you have to find distance between two characters a and b, then we find r1 comma c1, r2 comma c2, and then use the formula mod of r1 minus r2 plus mod of c1 minus c2. That will be the distance to move our finger from character a to character b, right? So let's see the code of the recursive with memoization. So this is our distance function, which I already told you. If both fingers are free, then the cost is 0. Else we find the row and column of both the fingers and then return the distance. Then let's see the recursive function. So in recursive function we have taken three parameters, I, and then the position of the fingers. So the base case, like if I is equal to n, where n is the size of the word. So if I is equal to word dot size, then we return the cost as 0. This is our base case. Then we are checking if we have already computed this state I, f1 and f2, right? If you have already computed this state, then we return that state directly. But if this state is equal to -1, means we haven't computed it, so we will be computing that. So we find the current word. Current is word of I minus a, right? We find the current position. Then either we can use finger 1 f1 or finger 2 f2. So if we are using f1, then we have to find the distance to move from f1 to current. If you are using f2, then we have to take the distance to move from f2 to current position. And then if we have used finger 1, then the next character will be I plus 1, right? So to find the cost of typing all the characters from I to n, we need to find the cost to type ith character, which is this distance. And then to find this, we'll be calling the function from I plus 1, and our f1 is at current and f2 is still at the same position. But if you use finger 2, then f1 is still at the same position and f2 will move to the current position. So we get the two costs. Now what we need the minimum cost. So we take the minimum of these two costs and store in the dp array, right? So dp of I comma f1 comma f2 will tell us the minimum cost to type all the characters from I to n such, and our fingers is at f1 and f2, right? And in the main function, we call sol 0 comma 26 comma 26, right? Because initially our index is at 0 and both the fingers are free, and we are representing the fingers to with 26 only. Now what we do is we'll convert this memoization function to dp, right? Normal dp. So in memoization we have three parameters: index, finger position and finger 2 position. So in dp also we have three things: index, finger 1 and finger 2, right? And it will tell us the minimum cost to type first I characters, that is from 0 to I. Earlier in recursion it is telling us the cost to type from I to n, right? But now in dp it will tell us the cost to type from 0 to I, and where with our fingers at the position f1 and f2. So what will be our base case now? So base case is like the starting position. So in starting position our I is equal to 0 and both the fingers are free. So dp of 0 comma 26 comma 26, we mark that as 0, right? And now using these states we will compute all the future states. So let's see the transition state. What will be the transitions that we'll be doing? So we'll be using the same logic that we have used in the recursion. So our current position is word of I. Our previous states, that is like we are at f1 and f2. Now if you move finger 1, if we move finger 1, so we have to move from f1 to current. So the cost will be distance of f1 to current. We have computed it, and we have already computed dp of I, f1 and f2. This state is already with us. So using this state we will be computing the next state, that is I plus 1. F1 has moved to the current state and f2 is still at the same state. So basically this is dp of I plus 1, current and f2. So using our previous computed state we are computing the next state, right? So this is when we use finger 1. Let's see what will happen if we use finger 2. So if we'll use finger 2, f2 will move to current. So we have to find the cost, right? And already we know the cost 2 from to type all the characters from 0 to I when our fingers at f1 and f2. So dp of I, f1 and f2 will store that cost. So we'll use that cost plus the current cost, right? And this will give us the next state, that is I plus 1. F1 is still the same and f2 has moved to current. So this will give us the next state, right? And what will be our final answer? So our final answer will be minimum over the last layer. Minimum over the last layer means when all the characters has been typed. So all the characters has been typed means dp of n. We have to find this. We have to check all the states of this dp of n, where f1 and f2 can be anything from 0 to 26. So we'll check all the distances and take the minimum one, right? So let's see the code part. So the distance function is still the same. Distance function is same. Then we have taken the size. We have taken the initially all the values are, all the costs are infinite, 10 ki power 9. Then we have taken a dp of n plus 1 comma 26 comma 26 size, and we have marked our base case. After that what we are doing is we are iterating over each character and taking the position of that character as current, and then we are checking all the finger positions f1 and f2. If a dp of I, f1 and f2 is not calculated, means the value is infinite, that means this state hasn't been calculated earlier, then we won't be using this state. But if this state is calculated earlier, then we use this state to compute our next states, that is all the states of I plus 1, right? So the two cases, if we move our finger 1 f1, then it will f1 will be shifted to current, so it will give us I plus 1 current and f2. So see, we are getting I plus 1 current and f2. But if you are moving our finger f2, then f2 will move to current, f1 is still same, and I will be moved to I plus 1. So we get this case when we move our finger 2. So once we calculated once we calculated all the dp states, then we have to find the answer. So to find the answer we will be checking the dp of n states, all the dp of n states, right? So we have used two loops over f1 and f2 positions, and we take the minimum of those distances, right? And at the end we will be returning our answer. So this is the case when we have used 3d dp. Now in this code, if you'll see to compute dp of I plus 1, we are using only dp of I, where like value is equal to dp of I. We are only using dp of I to compute dp of I plus 1. So instead of storing dp of I minus 2 and so on I minus 1, there is no need to store that. Instead of storing those, we only need I plus 1 states dps and I plus 2 states dp, f1 and f2. So can't we just use two 2d dps instead of one 3d dp? We can use two 2d dps that will store finger positions for the ith index, and then using those finger positions we can compute the finger positions for I plus 1 state, right? So what we'll do is we'll remove the index dimension, and then we use dp of f1 and f2, and using that we'll compute next of f1 and f2, and after each character we'll mark dp is equal to next. dp is equal to next. But if we can even further optimize it, so we know once we type the ith character or word of I, our one finger must be present on that character, right? So instead of tracking position of both the fingers, we know one finger is on this position, so we need to track only the rest finger which is not on that position. So instead of tracking two positions, now we have to track only one finger, so we can only use 1d dp because the other finger will be present on the previous character that we have typed. And right, so we use dp of j where our one finger is on the previous character that we have typed and the other is on the jth character that will be storing. So let's see the transitions. So we find the previous position of the finger, right? So one finger is on previous and we have to type the current character. So either we can use the previous finger only, that is the finger that by which we have typed the I minus 1th character. So if you use the same finger, right, then we have to shift from the previous character to the current character, so we find the distance of that, right? And if we use the previous finger, let's say we have two fingers, previous and j. So if we are typing current character with the help of previous, that means we know the position of this, then we have to store the position of this. So next of j's position will be same as earlier j because we are not changing the position of j. So next of j is equal to dp of j and the distance that we have taken to type the current character, right? Now, but what if instead of using our previous finger, we have used the other finger, that is a jth finger. So now our finger will go to current finger, right? Now, so we have to store the position of this previous finger. So next of previous is equal to dp of j plus the distance that we have taken to move from j to current, right? This will store, right? So let's see the code part. So the distance function is still the same. Then we have taken a 1d dp and then we have marked our free finger, the other finger as free finger, and then we are declaring the next state, right? And then we are finding the previous position of our finger and the current word or the current character that we have to type, right? So then we see all the positions from 0 to 26 of the other finger. But if that dp of j will give us infinite, means we haven't computed that state yet, so we can't use that state to compute the next state. But if it is not equal to infinite, means we have computed that, so we can use that state, right? So if we are using the same finger, then we have to shift from previous to current, and then next of j will be dp of j plus the distance, like we take the minimum of those two. Or if we are using the other finger, then means we will be shifting j to current, so we use that distance, and whatever uh, value or whatever what we called cost that we have occurred in typing 0 to I minus 1 character, that is already stored in dp of j. So you use that and we sum the current distance, so it will give us the next state, right? So after typing one character, we mark our dp as the next dp, right? And once we compute for all the characters, what we have to do, we have to return the minimum distance. So we return the minimum element of the dp array, right? So I hope I'm able to explain you all the three solutions properly. So if you like the solution, please make sure to like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.